Howdy, folks. Here today, we're going to walk you through creating an outline and starting to plan out your essay. So if you take a look at assignment 403, planning your essay, you can open up this argument outlining document. And what we're working towards is we're going to write a thesis statement that requires, proof and defense, make sure it's specific. We're going to plan some organizing claims, reasonings, and evidences. And then we're going to use a bulleted list to do this, an actual outline tool that will help us keep things way organized. So a couple things to point out. Number one is I have an outline template that you might want to follow and take a look at. So this kind of walks through, here's some things that you might want to add into your essay. You don't have to be filling out, this is not a fill in the blank type of template. You don't have to answer all of these questions, especially when we get down here into evidence, right? For your body paragraphs, this is an example of one body paragraph type, and you'd be need to creating more than one body paragraph. So this section of your outline should actually be doubled or tripled. And then when you get it to the evidence, you obviously don't have to provide actual research, a real world example, a reference, a hypothetical example, and a personal experience to back up whatever claim you're making. You can pick one of these. So don't try to do them all. I think a better way to look at this would be to look at my outline example here. And this will walk you through how I took this essay template, it's outline template, and I put it into practice. So this is what you should be working towards by the time you're done. And obviously I didn't put a ton of writing into here, but I put enough writing in here that you should be able to follow my lines of logic, see my claims, how they relate to my evidences and how they relate to my reasoning for each piece and part of this essay. So let's walk through how I do that together. We're going to be creating a new one in this document. So I'm going to actually just create a new document so we can start this from scratch. So we're going to open up a Google Doc. First thing that I want to make sure of is that we are, Times New Roman font, 12 point, good. And we are double spaced, awesome. I need to fix my page setup because I have my pages set up a little wider than what you guys probably do. I want to make sure that those are all 1-inch margins. And I'm going to give this a document title. So argument, essay, outline, boom. All right, so let's start off with an Mla header. So my name's Adam Restad. This is for Mr. Restad. It's for English 3. And we'll do today's date, 11/18/2020. And let's write this in military format. Let's go 18 November 2020. Cool. I'm going to put a title in here really quick. And I want you to notice how I did that. So with my cursor blinking over on the right-hand side, press the center button. I did title, pressed enter, and then went back to my left alignment. So I just put the title in there to remind myself I'm going to need to come back and title this thing. But I don't know what I'm working on. I don't know what my title is going to be yet. So instead, I'm going to start setting up my outline. Once I get my paper outlined, then I'll come back and figure out, okay, here's how I title it, or here's an appropriate title, right? So the tool that I want you to be using is, I'll zoom in just a little bit, is this guy right here, this numbered list tool. So with my cursor blinking over here, I'm going to press this little down arrow. And I actually like this numbered list tool because it's got Roman numerals, letters, and numbers. So I like that. And I'm going to set up the basic structure of my essay first. So I know I'm starting with an introduction. That's going to be my first paragraph. Then I'm going to have body paragraph number 1. I'm going to do body paragraph number 2. I'm going to leave it there for right now. I might add a third body paragraph depending on what I think my argument needs. And then we're going to do a conclusion. Cool. So within my introduction, if I take a look at my template, the things that I need to really brainstorm are an attention getter. some relevant background, and a thesis statement for whatever my topic is. So I'm going to do hook, another name for attention getter, background, BG, and thesis. So I'm just building, okay, here's the ideas that I need to come up with. I haven't even come up with any ideas yet. And then for my body paragraphs, I'm going to need a claim. You could also write maybe TS for topic sentence, whatever works for you. Then I'm going to need evidence, and I'm going to need reasoning. And so I want you to notice how I have this now tiered. Right? Notice how I have like this cascading effect, and I want to show you how I did that. So with my cursor blinking at the beginning of this bullet point here, if I press the tab button, see how it moves that to the right and to the left? So just hitting tab will move a bullet point to the right. I could also use this guy up here. And then holding shift tab will move a bullet point to the left. And this is actually really, really helpful, which means, for example, maybe I start creating my body paragraph and I realize, oh man, this should actually go to my second body paragraph. What I can do is cut this and then readjust my outline. So notice how that kind of got bumped over to this weird bullet point. Okay, let's move him back, create a new bullet point, paste that in there, and then I've got to go through and adjust everything else and get rid of these other ones. So again, indent moves this way, and I actually want to move these smaller bullet points in and out. Okay. So let's take a look at my outline, just to give you guys an example of here's kind of what I'm looking for. Notice my thesis. Notice how specific my thesis is. This obviously I worked and revised a couple of times before I got here. I even highlighted some of the pieces that I think, these are going to be really important that I talk about in the rest of my paragraphs. So remember, as we're organizing support, everything we put in there has to come back to prove our thesis. We've got to prove that it's relevant. We've got to prove that if I think this as my main idea, here's how I'm going to support that. It has to directly support that idea. And you have to build that line of logic in there. Okay. So that's how we're going to be creating our outlines. We have, those two sources of reference that you can use, my outline template and my outline example. Good luck, folks. You can do this. I believe in you.